Pakistan's education network is massive, covering hundreds of thousands of schools and millions of students. For decades, the data tracking this growth was internally scattered, leaving the system functionally blind to its own progress. On the ground, this translates to millions of children in diverse, often crowded classrooms. But because the systems tracking them didn't talk to each other, individual student development was easily lost in the administrative noise. Much of this fragmentation was structural. Critical departments, like special education, higher education, and non-formal education, operated completely outside the primary education management information system, creating isolated islands of data. This forced provinces to rely on disjointed reporting, where different departments use different formats or no structured databases at all. Developing a unified national policy is impossible when the federal government and the provinces are reading from different books. Without a centralized, real-time view, policymakers are flying blind. You cannot fix systemic failures, like high dropout rates or crumbling facilities, if you cannot accurately measure exactly where they are occurring. The National Open Data Portal was built to end these data blind spots by pulling every disparate metric into a single government-owned repository. Through horizontal integration, every educational department within a province locks into a unified data hub. Then, vertical integration takes over. These provincial hubs feed their real-time streams upward, creating a comprehensive federal view of the nation's performance. To keep this data consistent, the platform uses the Data Standardization Framework, or DSF. This is the rulebook that forces all provinces to use the exact same definitions for 71 globally aligned educational indicators. By enforcing these standardized definitions, the NODP converts chaotic, fragmented statistics into a live, readable diagnostic for the entire nation's educational health. Inside the NODP dashboard, the first priority is diagnosing failures. We start by looking at access. We begin by measuring the volume of children entering the system. The dashboard tracks this using the gross enrollment ratio and the adjusted net enrollment rate, which compares total student numbers against the actual target population. But getting them in the door is a hollow victory without checking for leakage. We must contrast initial enrollment against indicator E18, the dropout rate. The E18 formula calculates the exact proportion of a specific student cohort that vanishes before the following school year begins. High initial enrollment is a distraction if the system is quietly losing those same students by the third or fourth grade. The dashboard identifies exactly where the system is failing to retain its students. Beyond enrollment numbers, the data forces us to confront the physical realities of the schools. The portal tracks a specific category for school facilities. The Basic Services indicator ruthlessly tracks fundamental human rights. Does the school have a boundary wall, functional toilets, safe drinking water, and electricity? The portal also tracks modern requirements through the ICT indicator, which calculates the proportion of schools offering internet and computers specifically for teaching. We then move to the instructional core by looking at the pupil-trained teacher ratio. This indicator makes a sharp distinction. It measures the ratio of students to teachers who actually hold certified academic and professional training, not just the number of adults present. A child's educational success depends on the safety of their environment and the actual expertise of their instructor, not simply their presence in the room. Every indicator on this dashboard, from building walls to training teachers, depends on one thing: the underlying engine of education finance. The dashboard isolates the education budget using indicator F1, which tracks education spending as a strict percentage of total government expenditure across all sectors. This specific metric reveals a government's true commitment to its school system, moving past political rhetoric into hard mathematical evidence. Without transparent, standardized financial tracking, every other educational goal remains an unfunded wish list. The money must be as visible as the students. Pulling back from individual metrics, the NODP functions as a live, interactive command center for the entire nation's education policy. Through heat maps and localized graphs, the platform empowers local decision-makers to act on real-time data rather than relying on static, outdated reports. This high level of interoperability and transparency allows Pakistan to accurately track and report its progress toward international SDG 4 commitments. By maintaining a verified repository of over 5 years of statistics, the platform creates an unalterable baseline for long-term trend analysis. The NODP ends reactive guesswork in Pakistan's education management, replacing it with proactive, evidence-based governance. Moving forward, every facility, every single dollar, and every single child is finally being counted.